Previously on Unhinged Reading Vlogs with me.
I picked this book back up to listen to? No.
Oh my gosh, I was so miserable. I was so miserable. Y'all, I swear to you, I know how to read.
She's got a messy secret.
I know he's an attractive man, but we're here to do a job. Hey, welcome back to my channel. This week, I'm going to be jumping into some 2025 new releases. And coming up next, my heart dropped to my booty hole. I do regret it because it was awful.
You know that one drop rule was popping at the time.
Like, I still feel funky. Something doesn't feel right, but I don't think I care.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back to my channel. This week I'm going to be tracking what I realistically read, not only during the week, but during the work week. Okay, I work a 9 to 5. I lie. I work a 9 to 5, like in general. I think a lot of people just say they work a 9 to 5, but they don't necessarily work 9 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I don't work that time. But specifically, I'm going to be tracking from Monday, which is today, to Thursday. I'm not going to include Friday. Friday, I do go to work, but it's not a normal work day for me on Friday. Usually, I read the most during the week. I don't tend to read that much on Saturday and Sunday, and I'm gonna also include Friday as well. I tend to read more during the week. I think it's because since I'm someplace else where I don't have the opportunity to just pick up my book whenever, by the time I get home, it's like I appreciate that time to myself and I'll pick up a book. But on the weekend, it's like I can do whatever I want. Okay? I can do whatever I want, and I just choose not to read. Sue me. During the week, I read in the morning like now. I tend to get to work early enough that I have time to sit. I don't like getting to places that I need to be with not enough time to sit. Like I just have time to park my car and rush and get out. I don't like that. The last few weeks, I haven't really been reading in the morning. I don't know what I've been doing. I think just playing on my phone. Once I get to work, I normally take a 15-minute break. I can take 2, but I just take 1 15. I think it wouldn't be bad if I could just take 2 30-minute, but doing 2 15s and a 30 lunch, I'm not gonna lie, it's a lot. It's a lot. And sometimes I just don't have the time, because I at least need to get my work done. So I'll do 1 15-minute break and I'll do a late lunch to where when I come back from lunch, I have an hour left of work. So I just take a very, very, very late lunch. Throughout the day, I normally get the audiobooks for whatever book I'm reading. I do have the audiobook for this, so I'm going to be reading Did You Hear About Kitty Carr? This is a multi-generational saga that traverses the glamour of old Hollywood and the seductive draw of modern-day showbiz. So we have 3 POVs that we get in here. We get Elise, which is our present-day POV. She's in her 30s. She is black. She's a black woman. She has 2 other black sisters. She's obviously a part of a black family, and they are rich. I mean, each of the sisters are rich. And we have Kitty Carr, who is in her 80s. Well, she was in her 80s. She dies. I think they said she committed suicide. I think that's just because she ended up retiring in showbiz somewhere in her 50s, and she became a recluse. So a lot of people like that aren't in that world, just people on the internet, just started making up stuff. I think that's kind of what happened. I don't really remember. I don't think she committed suicide, but that's just me. She's white. You have to keep that in mind. She's white. And she ends up leaving her whole fortune to Elise and her sisters, Giovanni and Noelle. To the non-rich people on the internet, they're like, why did a rich white woman leave her entire fortune to these 3 black women that already have money? What they don't know is that Kitty Carr and that entire family like this. I don't even think people in Hollywood really know that as well. Actually, Kitty Carr is the one that mentored Elise and her sisters, their mom. Something with an S, not Sophia. I want to say it's something with an S. I don't remember. Because her mom, so Elise's grandma and Kitty Carr were both on a show? Or was it Kitty Carr and Elise's mom? One of the 2. But very close-knit family. But the 2 other POVs that we're getting we start in the 30s, and we get a POV from a woman named Hazel. Now, Hazel is a black woman. She ends up being assaulted, and she gives birth to a little girl that she names Mary. That little girl is biracial. She's black and white, but it's so interesting reading. That's actually what I've been looking forward to when reading this book, going into the past, the 30s, the 40s, and 50s. Right now, I think the next chapter, or the chapter I just finished, we're gonna be back in the 50s. Yeah, the next chapter we're going to be back in the 50s in Mary's POV. Mary should be a teenager by that time. It's so interesting because this is Jim Crow and Mary is biracial, but she's more specifically being raised by her black mother. She's white passing, like Halsey type of white passing, which Halsey I think is 25%, but still like that type of skin tone that's what I'm getting from here. I think that Mary is Kitty Carr, and that might have something to do with her giving money to her fortune to Elise and her family. Do I know exactly what happened? No. The easiest thought could be that they're related. And I also don't even know if Elise and her family even know that Kitty Carr is black, or at least half. But in her time, I don't think, like the way that she was being raised, I think now that we've gotten a little further away from the 50s and the 60s, now people are very hesitant, which we tend to pick and choose who we consider who is biracial but who is black, right? We see all the time that nobody has a problem with saying that Zendaya is black, Mariah Carey is black, Barack Obama is black, Halle Berry is black, even though they have a white parent. But there are some biracials who have the same mixture, but people are like, you're mixed, you're biracial. Could I think of one off the top of my head? No, but I think it tends to be the ones that do not cater anything positive to the black community. We're not gonna get into the conversation. That's just my opinion. Reading this book and reading back to the 30s, she would have been a baby. But reading back to the 40s, and I'm gonna be getting into the 50s, it wasn't like that. You know, that one drop rule was popping at the time. And it's just so interesting to read that because I'm not surprised that Kitty Carr maybe ended up choosing. And I'm wondering if she chose to go down that white passing path, right? Because it kind of sounds like she had a choice. Now, the choice, did she really have a choice? Not really, because her mom was really pushing her. Hazel was kind of like, I want you to have the best experiences, and because you are white passing, we're going to be doing what all the other white kids are doing. I lost my train of thought. Oh, but I'm wondering if she didn't necessarily specify her race because people chose it for her. You know what I mean? The way that it connects. I believe Elise is going to find... I was right. Elise is going to discover, y'all, it's probably time to go. Oh my gosh, it's 6:47, 6:48. I have a little time. Not really. Elise is going to discover a journal of Kitty's, and she's going to discover like the truth behind Kitty's ascent to stardom from her beginnings in the segregated South, threatens to expose a web of unexpected family ties, debt owed, and debatable crimes that could with one pull unravel the all-American fabric. The question is, because I'm 95 pages in, the question is, when is Elise going to find this journal? I believe she's going to find it in the chapter that I'm about to start. I am back home. I ended up getting off at 2 o'clock. I couldn't do it. I don't know what happened this morning when I woke up. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I don't know. My equilibrium was off. As soon as I got to work, I'm like, I don't know if I can do it today. I took my break at 12:15. Did not help. I got back to my desk 12:30. Proceeded to text my manager. I didn't put no time in today, but can I get off at 2 o'clock? Because I can't do it. And that's not normal for me. I did take the break, like I said. I had stopped on chapter 11. I said that's where I had stopped last night. That's all I read on the break, 5 pages. Couldn't read in the kitchen. Again, we're moving offices. So the spot where I sit in the kitchen, you can't sit because they got dishes. They've taken everything out of the cabinets. And it's not disrespectful, but I just think it's wrong of me to sit in the other spots because that's where people who bring their lunch like to sit. Where I sit, no one sits there because they just don't like it. It's against the wall, it's under the TV, it's dark, it's not by a window, and it's 3 different seats, but no one ever sits there until I started sitting there, and I'm the only one. And I like to sit there to leave space for the people who actually bring lunch and like to sit in those other tables. There's 2 other tables that sit 3, so 6. I only read about 5 pages on the break. I was tired. They're talking in the kitchen. I didn't sit in the kitchen, by the way. I sat in this little seating area next to the kitchen. Now, mind you, it's a kitchen. It's not a library. They don't need to be silent. And I wasn't expecting them to, but it was so much noise compared to normal. It was so much going on in there. People, I couldn't focus. Got back to my desk. I'm like, I gotta go home. I still haven't started reading this since I've been back. I have my ASMR on, so I'm hoping that gets me in the groove of things. I did want to show y'all some of my other books. They're now scattered. I've actually filmed this clip twice. This is my 3rd time.
I'm getting it together. So I'm gonna show y'all some of my other options. I tend to go for books that have audiobooks during the week because it gives me something to listen to at work, and I'm gonna need it this week. I can already tell I'm going to need it. So my next book is most likely gonna be How to Succeed in Witchcraft, but I also need to pick books that I do see myself wanting to read in time or whatever at the moment, and that's gonna be good. The audiobook for this one is due on the 23rd, and we're already in the 19th, so I need to get it together. The Poisons We Drink. I just don't see myself reading this just yet. I do have the audiobook, but these are both fantasies. So, we'll see. I have really been feeling this. Julie Chan is Dead. I just got this book. I'm getting the vibe that it could be like one of my favorite authors. Her name is Jessie Q Sutanto. Y'all might know her from her series, the Auntie series. She has a book. It's an adult thriller. So I think these two for sure will be in here. Another book that I have, I'm gonna show y'all. It's on KU. I have not been using my KU, my Kindle, period. It's by Shay Sanders, and it's a dark romance. I'm not really a dark romance girly anymore. This book has been calling my name for some time now. Call Me Mrs. Taylor. I don't know why I thought this was a thriller, but it says it at the top. An obsessive dark romance. I did look at the trigger warnings. That scared me. Oh my gosh. My heart dropped to my booty hole. I don't know if y'all heard that, but it was... Oh, give me a second. I guess it was a cop car maybe, or I don't even know what that sound was. A cop car or a fire truck. I'm assuming that was a cop car. Did that little alert thingy twice. For some reason, I thought it was someone saying, help me, help me. Oh my gosh. Y'all might not be able to see. I'm like shaking right now because I'm like, what am I gonna do? It says profanity, explicit sex, gaslighting, manipulation, non-con. Here's my issue with non-con. So non-con is non-consensual. And I've always wondered, well, I don't wonder now because I kind of know what it is, but I used to wonder what was the difference between non-con and just the R word. Because sometimes in the books that I would read and I would look at the trigger warnings, they would have both. And I'm like, well, that looks like the same thing to me. But I think authors use non-con when it's between the love interests. And they use the R word when it's just somewhere throughout the book and it's from just another like secondary character. So I'm assuming in here that could mean that it's between the love interests. Like maybe, is there drugging in here? Because I'm thinking maybe the person drugs the other. Stalking, obsession, suicidal ideation, breath play, mention of off-page, child SA, mention of off-page miscarriage, and that's been calling my name. I'm not gonna front with y'all. And I do like Shay Sanders. That's realistically what I'll be able to read this week. Because I'm gonna be ending this, it's been 11 minutes. Because I'm planning on ending this video on Thursday, so I'll probably close it out on Friday. To recap what I've read, that's probably only 3 books. It could be 4 because again, I have the audiobook of this, I have the audiobook of this. So that's 2 books right there for sure, unless something just goes wrong. The ebook, it doesn't show me page numbers. You know where I can find it? Storygraph. Call Me Mrs. Taylor. Storygraph is saying 365 pages. Now mind you, that's because someone input that. Do I want to start this today? Let's hope I can get through the day tomorrow. I think I can.
Oh, this is a quick update because it needs to charge. So yesterday, didn't read squat. Yesterday was Monday. But I did read about 9% of Call Me Mrs. Taylor. She's a wacko. She is... Right, I'm not even going this way. I'm going reverse. I'm going to continue reading that today. I'm parked in a new parking spot. Now they're making me anxious because they're parked all the way over there. They said we could park here, just not against the building over there. So I don't know why they all... I don't know. I might have to move my car. Today is Tuesday, May 20th. Oh my gosh, it's about to be 8 years for me since I graduated from high school. Why did I even mention that? Oh, because it's May 20th and I think I graduated high school on like May 21st or something. I did it by the hardest. I don't know how I made it through the workday, but I did. Let's get it popping. What have I done all day? Okay,
I obviously did not read earlier this morning. I think I did check in this morning. I did not read while I was in the car. I ended up taking my 2 breaks today. I'm gonna have to take both breaks this week because it's only Tuesday. I don't know what it is. Part of it is I don't have that much to do at work, but the other part is what I do at work is very easy and it's not stable. Maybe back in the 90s, the 2000s, the 80s, the 2010s even, sure. But now with AI, with ChatGPT, whatever the hell that is, with everything going online, I need to be looking for another job, which I wasn't supposed to stay there as long as I have anyway. I'm going on 4 years next month. That's a part of it. So it's like some of my work I will be losing at some point. Will they give me something else? Maybe. Will I even like that? I don't know. Then the move, and it's like the whole dynamic at work is gonna be so different. I just wanted to rant for a little bit. I did take my first break at around 10. I read the ebook. It's showing that I have 3 hours and 50 minutes left. Chapter 11. The chapters are short, but it's one of those books because remember, it's an obsessive dark romance. And I have a feeling that the guy Ace, so I don't even know if I ever said their names because I do remember reading the trigger warnings or the content warnings, but we have a couple, they're kind of a couple now. We have Raya and Ace. Raya is our creepy stalker FMC, and because she's also a liar and a manipulator, so I don't remember. I know she does work with kids, but I forgot what she does exactly, and I'm pretty sure she lied to Ace about what she does, and I already forgot what the lie was and what the truth was. Ace is an engineer, and she's obsessed with him. I don't know if I ever read to y'all the first line of the book. It was so crazy. It kind of makes sense why she said that. This is literally line number 1. Meghan Markle is the dumbest bee on 2 legs. You need to read further as to why she said that. In your crazy mind, that actually makes sense to me. So anyway, I'm gonna continue reading this hopefully today. It's just ebooks. I've really been in my physical book era. With ebooks, it's like it'll start off good and then all of a sudden it's been 2 weeks since I've picked it up and it goes downhill from there. I did read that on my first, actually both breaks. So I read this at around 10 and 3:15ish. Then for lunch, did I take a lunch? Of course. Oh, I took a nap at lunch. I went outside, sweated so much, like I still feel funky. I feel nasty. And I took a nap. Yeah, I brought my Kindle with me, but I didn't use it. I like just having it with me. Even if I don't plan on reading on my breaks, I like just having whatever book that I'm reading at the time. I did listen to some more of this. I did not find where I'm at in the chapter just yet. Here's the thing, wherever I'm at, I'm just gonna restart the entire chapter because I was not comprehending anything that I was listening to. So let's see where I'm at. I'm on chapter 23. I might be about halfway through by now. I'm past half, a little bit. Probably about 54%, 55%. I am actually enjoying it. Okay, so I'm on chapter 23, page 227. I would say for the past 100 pages, it has all been, can I say that though? I'll say Mary's POV. It's all been Mary's POV. We have not heard anything about Elise. And I'm like, well, isn't Elise gonna discover her journal? But I'm wondering, and I kind of thought this before, if the POVs that we're reading, if that's technically the journal that Elise is reading. Because you're telling me Elise wouldn't find the journal until like maybe the conflict? Like that's crazy. Where's the next Elise chapter? I don't even see a chapter for Elise. Wow. I'm looking at the next Elise chapter. It is chapter 31. Mind you, I'm on 227. This is 294. And it looks like she is going to be reading a letter. So you're telling me she still hasn't found that journal yet throughout this entire thing? If that's the case, then what I feel is happening is we are reading Mary's story in real time, like for ourselves, so that when Elise gets her hand on the journal, we already know what's happened. I can already tell I'll probably just read one book this week. It is Wednesday, May 21st. I did not update this morning on purpose. I wanted to get a little further because when I got back yesterday, what was yesterday, Tuesday? I didn't read squat. I got ready for bed, 9 o'clock I was in the bed. First up, did you hear about Kitty Carr? I did finish this as an audiobook. I do regret it because it was awful. I am joking. I really did enjoy this book, but I regret finishing it as an audiobook and honestly listening to majority of it. I think this actually would have worked best for me had I read it physically, like with my eyes. There's just so many names and I'm like, I can't tell you how many times I had to like restart. I think I was at, what time was it today? I think it was 3 o'clock and I was almost done with the chapter that I was in and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what's going on. Where are we? So I just restarted the entire chapter. There was just something about also listening to it. I wasn't catching on sometimes. And so again, I would have to restart or go back like 30 seconds. So I do regret not reading it with my eyes. I'm gonna give this a 4.5. At first I was like a 4-star, but then I don't know. I just feel like I kept reading it. I'm like, I think I'd give this a 4.5. What really threw me was the back and forth at the beginning of the book between Elise and Mary's POV. And then all of a sudden we stopped getting Elise's POV and then we got Mary, which then turned to Kitty, because I mean the title is Did You Hear About Kitty Carr? I love that because I did tell y'all that those were my favorite POVs to read when I had first started it. I wasn't really into Elise's POV at the time. Her POV, once we get it back at the end, definitely tied everything together. Back on my Kindle, I have it up. I stopped on 34% of the ebook that I was talking about. Raya, is it Raya or Raya? What have I been saying? Girl, I forgot. She's a trip. I just have to describe to y'all this one scene. They getting it on. Low key, I may have mentioned this already, Ace is into it. Like, Ace has been shown so many red flags from jump, and he always says, you know, something doesn't feel right, but I don't think I care. You know, like, he's into it. He's into the craziness. Let me set the scene up. I want to say this was the first detailed spicy scene that we get. We do get one spicy scene before it, but it wasn't detailed. I believe it was closed door or fade to black. She told him don't finish. He struggled. He does. And she said, I told you not to do that. And she's mad. And he's like, oh, like you're for real. She is so angry. She gets up. She's not saying nothing. She puts on her clothing. Mind you, he finished, so the stuff is dripping down her leg. She doesn't wipe nothing. She's mad. What did she say? I gotta read the entire thing. I'm leaving. Come walk me to my car. That's exactly how I imagine her saying that. He does. Buckles her in. Mind you, she's putting on this entire show. She's mad and she's trying to show it. He buckles her in, closes the door, gives her sad puppy dog eyes as she pulls out of the driveway. Then she says, I'm smiling by the time I get home. That was kind of fun. Ma'am, I don't think I did the scene justice, that I described it justice. I know she's trying to get him addicted. I get it. I know exactly what she's doing. He gets it too. Oh, and I just gotta say this too. As punishment, after he did that, as punishment, she doesn't talk to him for a couple of days. Then finally she texts him a location, which is her house. It's the first floor, something about a window. Now, there's no door or anything because he's at the side of the house. There's a window, but the blinds are kind of open, or the curtain is kind of open where there's a little bitty peephole. She waited for that man to get there and put on a show. And it's like this voyeuristic stalker thing going on. It was the craziest scene. I'm like, oh my gosh, what the hell is going on? Which is great because I wasn't feeling it. And now that things have started happening, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of feeling it now. Like, I do want to finish. Like, as soon as I'm done with this clip, I'm going to continue reading it. I'm curious if by the time I'm done, if I can get all the way through, if I'm going to say, oh, I don't think this should have been that long. Now that I am done with one book, I don't like reading multiple books at the same time, but if I do, it's normally always a physical / audiobook and an ebook when I am reading my ebooks. So I think next, because tomorrow is Thursday, I'm still working a 9-hour day tomorrow, and it's my last day filming this. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start The Witch Book as an audiobook tomorrow or at some point today, because I did start the book. I read like the first chapter. So maybe I'll continue it with my eyes, and then tomorrow, that's what I'm gonna listen to. Today's Thursday, May 22nd. I lie. It's Friday. Yeah, I did not I'm on something today. I did not vlog anything yesterday, which was technically the last day that I wanted to film for this. I'm still keeping my word. I was hoping that I would get to close it out later today, but because I didn't vlog anything yesterday, I'm going to do it today. I ended up finishing all of my ebook, Call Me Mrs. Taylor. Y'all, the title kind of eats.
I'm gonna actually give it a 4-star. Oh, by the way, today is Friday and today is our last day at this building. I actually filmed myself driving up. I think the next building is gonna be a disaster. I guess it's gonna be our disaster. A beautiful disaster. I'm not a huge dark romance girly anymore. I don't read it that much. Typically, I steer clear of non-canon books. Specifically, no reason, just I don't want to read it. I was right when authors are gonna do these scenes between love interests that involve non-consent. They don't call it the R word. I'm only saying R word because I don't know what YouTube is on. They use specifically non-consensual or non-consent. They use non-con as the key word for that. And I was right. It is between our two main characters in here. However, I didn't think I'd be saying this. Where that scene is put, it's perfectly placed. As I was reading the book, I was like, oh. Like I had forgotten all of the trigger warnings that I had even read. We have already gotten the sense of the dynamic between the two. Listen, I don't know what's even crazier. Raya being as obsessive and crazy as she is, or Ace being even crazier to being attracted to that. Because the key word for this book is that this is an obsessive dark romance. Romance being the key word. It has to be a happy ever after or a happy for now if it's a series with the same characters. At the end of that series, the characters need to be together. Do I agree with that? No. I like a good love story where maybe one at the end passes away or they just don't make it at the end. That's perfectly fine to me. I would still consider that a romance, but if you look it up, that's not a romance. They have to be together, happy ever after, living it up. And that is what this is. That made it better. Just the whole obsessive romance thing. The actual non-con scene, insane. Do you hear me? Insane. Now, it did not feel that long. I feel like I tore through this book and actually I was so excited every time I got the time to pick it up and read. I think I remember saying on Storygraph, it said that it was 370 something pages. I don't know where they got that page count for because it doesn't show you on Kindle. If that is the case, that's too long. Personally, it didn't feel long to me, but if it was that long, I could definitely see some things that could have been taken out. Y'all, there's so much that I could tell you about this book because I highlighted so much, but I'm not going to because I'd be here all day. But just know, she was crazy. He was as well. Like he was just as bad, just not in the same way. He was bad. Am I a sheep? He was bad in the sense that that's what he liked. But I guess to each their own. There's someone out there for everyone. Or multiple people out there for everyone. I attempted to listen to the book that I said I was going to. I listened to 28 minutes. Mind you, everything that I listened to, I don't know if I had said that. I had already started the book. I'd read about one chapter. The 28 minutes that I listened to was the chapter that I had already heard minus a few lines or plus a few lines. So I got a little bit further than I was. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I'm gonna give it another go. I mean, I literally listened to 28 minutes. This week was a little off just because of everything going on at work. But that also proves that work is really what affects my reading throughout the week. That's it for today's video. This was very realistic for me. I finished 2 books. Now I'm trying to think of what video I want to do next. If you reach the end of this video, comment down below a black heart because that's my mood today. We're mourning the building. And I'll see you next week. Bye!